Hello, my name is Ryan Olson, and the song that I chose is Beethoven Virus by Banya featuring Diana Boncheva. This song is a modern cover and just like a rock remix of Beethoven's Piano Sonata number 8 in C minor, Opus 13, otherwise known as the Pathétique Symphony. It's the third movement in Rondo Allegro, is the section where the main melody is based off of. It was made in Seoul, Korea on the 25th of July 2006. Released as part of the game by Andamiro, Pump It Up, The Perfect Collection. Now, Banya is the South Korean arcade company Andamiro that makes the Pump It Up games, like the band that makes all of the covers. They while they are most famous for their rock covers, like Beethoven Virus is their biggest individual song. They also do make hip hop songs, trance songs, techno songs, hardcore music. They're really inspired by the different aspects of music, of modern music, rather than just the classical, so that they like mix it all together. And Diana Boncheva was born in Bulgaria in 1981, and she learned how to play the violin in Bulgaria. But then she moved over to Seoul, and after a while, making nothing too big, the only real song that she has worth noting is her feature in Beethoven Virus. But she did do other things before coming to with working together with Banya to make this song. Now, obviously, both of them were really inspired by classical music with and Banya making lots of music based off of those classical songs, a lot of the older songs, and same with Boncheva, who chose violin, sit there and just like a lot of covers. A lot of her work was based off of doing covers of like nothing too big. She didn't do much original work, but they were all both clearly influenced by a lot of the more modern music with more rock and more use of the guitar and drums and more modern instruments that you didn't see back when classical music was predominantly in its most like making things phase. And they did it early enough because it was 2006 that they did help inspire the use of like covering the while it was there, but using like covering and like adding a whole different genre to it, especially with classical music for like the future generations to follow and like just mix up with old music. And even though uh, Beethoven March was based off of sonata, like the third movement, the form for Beethoven Virus is a whole lot different than from a sonata because it they only took the like main melody, a couple of the motifs out of the song, and then like they changed a lot of the other sections. So it starts off with an introduction. So I'm gonna play a little bit of the introduction for you, which where the other song just gets right up to the third movement rather than just having like introduction going on. Like I said, you see a little bit of the songs. This is like the first chorus that you see going on. It's like the main motif, the main theme of the song, and it just like really pop. You see how there's more. They still have it, but they're using the guitar and the drums to like add on to it. Whereas the sonata, Pathetica, it has like that first bit, no real like lead up or introduction to it, and then it does keep that up for after the first little bit. It just completely devolves off into a different like well it is still fast. The song branches off from the cover right here. Instead, the form that it follows, the Beethoven Virus follows, it goes into a chorus of sorts, and then there's always like a little bridge to each individual section, and then it goes to a chorus, then it goes to like a little solo section, not a solo section, but like they let the instruments that aren't the violin shine in that part. And there's another short bridge, and we go back to the chorus, which happens after that little section that I introduced to you. And to think more about the melody, you have the ba 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 da 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 da. I got then the note's a little bit wrong there, but it's like it's very disjunct with lots of jumps. There's like the fast bits are there, but it always like sit there stops on the high note, but it's always a whole lot of dissonance. So you always want to like continue seeing what happens next and like what's going to happen. I would consider the theme to be the ba 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 bum ba da 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 ba ba bum 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 bum. Yeah, that part that's going on. And a lot of the like fast notes are just half notes, which like I consider it because I play the trombone slurring, but you can't. I don't know if you can slur that much with a violin. And then so that's like the basis of the melody. While it does go to other, it still sticks with that theme of just a whole lot of fast moving, and then there's like a high note or a bridge. Sometimes there are a couple low notes where it holds, but it holds on those low notes, and then it just keeps on going back into those fast notes. And then for like more of the like specifics of the song, there's the tempo is 162 beats per minute, which is like between a Vivace and Presto pace. And then there's still in common time, which it was in the original. It is in this modified version, Beethoven Virus. And then the dynamics, it's I would consider it mostly to stick around at forte, and it does have a couple movements, but it's never like where it starts low and then yada. It would whenever it moves up, you can tell where it's coming, and then it explodes. And like the quietest I think it gets is around mezzo piano and during like the bridges, like in between, where you can tell the section is about to switch. And then for the harmony, I would consider the cadence of Beethoven Virus to be rather weak. There aren't really that many like key changes or harmony. It just still keeps the same like main beat for like a couple different sections at a time, and then it does change like the beat while it does sometimes stays the same. When you like move on to the section, when you bridge to a different section, you go to a different section, and the song, because there's a whole lot of dissonance, it's played in a minor key, C minor key. They did keep that in both of the versions that they did. And then the instruments that are playing is obviously the violin, and then like the cover part, there's a whole lot of the drum set, a whole lot of guitar, and then you like in the like sections, you can really tell they have a timpani playing, and like and just like for small bits, there is some sort of horned instruments. I'm not sure exactly which one is it, but just off of the sound, I'd assume that it's a trumpet. You see that they focus a lot on the rhythm of the song, just a lot of really fast up and down eighth notes, 16th notes, and then there's like not half notes. I'd give them like quarter dotted quarter notes of where like you have the whole da 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 da, where like it's not a full like two beats at 162. This is where it holds, and then like my personal opinion of both of these songs is that I really like how compared to the pathetic sonata, it really like keeps you on your feet, because even like in the other version where you could tell the like action, the movement died down in that movement, which it's supposed to be more like up, more moving to be interesting. It sits there and adds like a different section where it's still like sitting there, it's still fast and moving, so that you're never like too bored. You're always on the tip of your toes when you're listening. That's like edge of your seats. Sorry, that was really bad wording. And then, but the issue is because it only really follows the first couple measures and only sticks with a couple themes, a couple motifs that the original Pathetique sonata has. It does tend to get a little bit repetitive, and it is also lacking vocals, which all classical music lacks vocals. So like, which is original to the cover. Well, more following the source material to the cover rather. You can follow. It makes it so that there's less reason. It's more of an instrumental. You can't sing along. There's less like utilitarian purposes that you have going on with the song. I think that the Beethoven Virus is a great example of how you can like blend together different genres, and like how you can like use beats from a song and still make it sound like entirely different. Even if this one, it wasn't for commercial, it was from a commercial game, it's for a video game. It wasn't like just copying and using it as your own. It was just showing that you can mix a little bit of like the modern music that we have going on, modern genres, and you can mix it with the classical, like the old classical, baroque, romantic. You can still use those today as long as you like sit there and make it more of this time, so that you can spice it up, make it more interesting. And this song really makes me wonder what Beethoven would be able to do with an electric guitar. So I just want you to think about that for a second and just all the possibilities that could have happened. Thank you. This is my presentation.